Hi there everybody, this is Grandad Jack. The roof is on and I'm doing the walls on my bush cabin here, and I thought I would show you how that's going and show you how I do it. So for the roof and the walls, I've actually used old iron that's come off another roof of an old house. But it's good enough for a project like this for a bush cabin, and it looks very old and authentic. So with the help of a licensed plumber friend of mine, we've put on the roof. We've put isolation insulation foil on the roof of the main cabin, but on the veranda it's not necessary. So I've just rolled the isolation into the lengths required for each section. I've also put hoop iron that goes from one corner of the roof to the other corner on the other side. This prevents any lateral movement to the roof or to the building itself and just braces the whole building. The veranda sheets have been put on so that if there's any holes in the existing sheets, they are on the top of the corrugation of the sheet and not on the bottom. And there's 50mm overhang also that goes into the gutter on the front. Once the veranda sheets have been put on, the batten on the main roof can then be positioned, and this shows where the veranda sheets come in and butt up against it, and then the top sheets of the main roof come in over the top of it and fit over the corrugations of the veranda iron. The isolation insulation foil has been placed so that it runs onto the veranda roof if there's any condensation under the roofing iron. The isolation foil, or sarking as it's called, has been wrapped over the end of the rafters, and the wall isolation will be tucked up underneath it. These old roof iron sheets are only 7 foot long, or 2.1, so they have to be joined. The bottom sheets are put on first, and then the top ones will overlap over the top of them. I've just screwed these sheets on at the base and the middle noggin and the intermediate one above. On the corner, I've just bent the sheet to fit around the corner. I haven't done this on all corners, but where the sheet overhangs, it works fine. The wall sarking actually has little holes in it. This allows for breathing of the insulation to the walls. I've also put vents at the base in different areas to let air flow through underneath the flooring of the building. This airflow stops the build-up of dampness under the floor and prevents a possible mould problem by having air ventilated underneath. I've put plastic strip flashing around the window to stop air, wind and breeze coming down through the sides of the window. So I just cut this plastic flashing, and there's a groove on the side of the window that it actually fits into. So when the window is put in, this groove is in line with the stud on the wall, and the flashing just slides into this groove on the side of the window. I then just nail it in, and it forms a protective barrier against breeze through between the window and the stud wall. I also put this plastic flashing on the top and the bottom of the window. Once the front windows have been put in and the flashing applied, I then do the same with the door frames. For the door openings, the first thing I do is cut the bottom plate out where the door frame is to go. This shows where I've cut that bottom plate out with a handsaw, and it's ready to put the door sill in that spot. You can buy the door sill material at your local hardware store, and it's a special profile for the base of a door frame. It's a hardwood material and is profiled so that the water will run off if it goes down the door, and there's a drip groove underneath the door sill. I cut the end of the door sill so that the 6x1 material will fit into it, with a little bit at the end to have it so that it's not a rough edge. I just screw the door frame into the end of the sill, and this is sufficient to hold it. I position it in the opening so that the inside lining on the inside of the wall is flush with the door frame. I've also put a step at the front. This shows the two comparisons, one without the door frame bottom plate being cut out yet, and then this one shows the frame has been put in and in place and ready for the door to be put in the opening. So this is what the cabins look like once the old iron has been put on. The front windows have been put in, the door frames have been assembled and placed in and nailed in, and the steps to the front have also been put in place. The old iron gives the building a really old and rustic look. I'll be making the doors for these cabins, which I haven't done yet, but they'll be just made of old floorboards, and then I'll be putting those in as well. So that's the cabins. They're nearly completed. I've shown how I've built the back windows, and I'll be putting those in place next. But they come up pretty good. They're old, they're rustic looking, and they're pretty cool. These are the louver windows for the rear of the building, which I showed how I built on a previous video. The only thing left I have to do for the outside of the building now is to put the corner flashings on and the gutters to the roof and the doors to the front, and the outside of the building is complete. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Grandad Jack on how to build a bush cabin.